The LEF team is enjoying a well-earned tea break on the newly refurbished Curen Valley Park picnic site. This picnic site was funded through one of our £1,000 small green grants. It's just one of 74 projects that's been funded this year, with grants totalling £1.2 million. This year sees the fund reach a significant milestone of 1,000 projects supported, and next year, 2018, the fund will have been in operation for 20 years. Cheers!
Cheers.
Once again, we're indebted to our long-term funding partner, Sewage Recycling and Recovery UK, for the financial support of the fund, and also to the other funds partners, Lancashire County Council, the Lancashire Wildlife Trust and Community Futures in Lancashire. We all work together to ensure that the landfill tax raised in the county is spent in the county on really worthwhile community and environmental projects. Pass the cake, John. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sue Fowkes. I'm one of the directors of Ski Rossendale. We're a social enterprise and we took over the site from the council in September 2011. When artificial ski slopes were thought of, water wasn't a commodity we paid for. To keep this place running, especially in the summer, we need to lubricate the slopes so that our main activities, skiing, snowboarding, tubing, can take place. Obviously this involves thousands of litres of water per annum, which is quite a prohibitive cost. We don't want to put our prices up, so what we've had to do is get clever with how we retain water. And to this end, we applied to the Lancashire Environmental Fund to enable us to increase our water storage capacity, so that any water that runs off the slope can be gathered, placed in a tank, and then used. Hopefully, the storage facility will give us 8 hours of use, with water being replenished overnight and reused again. That's the main aim and the main reason we asked for an environmental grant.
Hello, my name's Claire and this is Coldwell Activity Centre near Burnley. We have a charity organisation set up to help young and disadvantaged people help get out and enjoy the countryside and have residential breaks with us. Some of the people who come to Coldwell Activity Centre have never had access to the countryside before, and this is a chance for them to come here and do activities or just relax in a safe, calm, peaceful environment with people in similar situations to themselves. This is our new cabin, which we managed to get with help from the Lancashire Environmental Fund. At the moment we have a Prince's Trust group using it from St Helens. They're using it as part of their team building work, as part of their 12-week programme. In the future we're also going to use it for wildlife workshops, orienteering, map reading and craft studies. We also recently had a group using it for a yoga retreat. As you can see, we are absolutely in the middle of nowhere. It's very remote with loads and loads of wildlife all around us. We've got lots of wild birds, we have hares, we have deer, we have lots of sheep and cows. Many people who come to the centre have never even seen a sheep or a cow, so just for them to sit in the cabin and observe is great for them and great for the families.
So I'm Roger Plum from Prospects, which is an environmental organisation in Hyndburn, which work with volunteers and community groups and school groups to try and improve the local environment, improve community access and community participation. So today we're at Winnie Hill, which we've had LEF funding for the last year, and there's various things we've done on the site. So this behind me is the first real job we did at the start of May last year. We cleared this. It was really overgrown with trees and gorse bushes and things on it. So we cleared that all up, and now it's coming towards the end of the project. We're just doing a final tidy up on this part of the site. So So one of the larger parts of the project for the funding was to put in a new footpath from Winnie Hill Road through to Livingston Road, which then connects the site up, so that the rest of the site had some good paths on it already. So this connects through, so it makes a route straight through the site, and also we can then make it into a bit of a circular walk, which will be waymarking and signposting and putting some interpretation boards up. So the other major part of work for the project was the woodland work. So the woodland site was planted in sort of the early 90s, nothing really been done with it since. So a lot of the work was to do some thinning. And Prospects has a social enterprise called Woody, which do woodland contracts, so they did most of the major chainsaw thinning. We also had volunteers coming out doing some of the other smaller thinning and some of the coppicing work. We also ran bow saw felling training courses so people could learn to cut trees safely, and a lot of the wood that's been cut down will be used. Woody process it, so a lot of the stuff from this site was used to make hazel stakes for hedging, and also for making features such as benches. So there's been 3 benches put on the site which have been made by timber that Woody have taken from different sites. So we try and recycle the wood and also sort of use it in the local area.
Hi, I'm Lynn Whittle. I'm from the Friends of Freckleton Memorial Group from the park, and here we are on the actual park what we've had built. The park means a lot to myself and my group, as the air disaster what happened in the Second World War, after the tragic accident what killed loads of children in the local school and cafes and other places surrounding, they decided to build a park, memorial park for the children of the village. As you can see now, it is an upkeeping brand new park. Before it wasn't as good, but we managed to get a group together. We started off as a group of 12 and ended up as a group of 4. With lots of fundraising, we managed to get more funds together and then applying for local companies and far out companies. We had lots of funding from local communities and other places and did a lot of fundraising ourselves. It was a lot of hard work, but it means a lot to this village what we've done. We went around local schools asking all the local children in the schools exactly what they would like to see on the park. We did surveys and everything, and as you can see, most of the park is now done, but we hopefully will be expanding a little bit further and putting some new things in, hopefully some picnic areas, some climbing stones and things like that yet to come.
Hello, I'm Dot McCarthy and we're at Cronkshire Fold Farm. We're a farm and study education centre where we teach children about food and farming and the links to the environment. We're here today with Lancashire Environmental Fund because they've been kind enough to give us 60% funding on the building we're in now. It's got a pretty awesome view. It's timber frame, it's built with larch, all from within Lancashire, or with tradesmen within Lancashire as well. And the building will host groups of children and groups of adults to learn about food and farming and give a warm place so you don't have to be outside in the cold wind and rain of Rosendale, to give a warm learning environment for people coming to the farm.
I'm Peter Moser, the Artistic Director of More Music. I'm also the founder. I arrived in Morecambe about 25 years ago and decided that I really wanted to work in this community in the West End of Morecambe. And over 25 years we've built a whole organisation, a charity called More Music, that works across the community, across Lancashire, but is based in this amazing place called the Hot House. And we, as a building, it's an old building, and we needed to refurbish it and give it some new energy so that we could sustain the work we do with young people, with adults, with people from disadvantaged communities. More Music is funded by many, many different people, and we've sustained our projects and our programmes of work with young people and adults through finding lots of different funding. But to have a building that is actually fit for purpose is really important, because we do lots and lots of sessions in here. And this latest capital project was the key funder with the Arts Council England, who gave us a really good sort of central block of money. But then we've been really lucky with the money from various different people, from Foyles, from the Rain Foundation, from Esme Fairburn, and also from the Lancashire Environmental Fund. And the key thing with that is it's been about making this building sustainable and efficient. You know, so we've improved the lighting, we've moved for a different lighting system upstairs which uses less electricity, we've made the roof secure, we've sorted out the heating so it's more efficient, we've put in underfloor insulation. So the whole thing is about trying to make us less of a burden on the climate.
My name's Ruben Neville, I work for the Lancashire Wildlife Trust. We're here at Wharton Clag Nature Reserve where we're undertaking a project targeting in particular two rare fritillary species that are found here, the high brown fritillary and the pearl bordered fritillary. What you can see behind us is we're opening up new rides and creating additional habitat to reconnect existing habitat on the crag for these two special species, as well as creating new habitat. And we're hoping at the end of the project this will link in with habitat over to the south here, managed by the local nature reserve, the AONB team, and behind us here additional habitat that's managed by the RSPB and our own reserve off to our right here.
Hello there, my name is Barry Sharples. I've been looking after this wall garden with a dedicated group of volunteers for the best part of 10 years or so. And the greenhouse was opened last year by Joe Swift at the Flower Show, which resulted in a long-held ambition of mine, which I asked the council to provide me with many years ago now, and eventually it came to fruition last year. It's got a very unique rainwater harvesting system at the corner of each of the greenhouse, where there's a 500 litre water tank buried underneath the ground, and we have a manual operated water pump at each end which harvests the rainwater which we can use for our water irrigation. We look after this garden for the benefit of the local neighbourhood and community who come and enjoy the benefits and everything. All along we're trying to enhance it as we go along. Previously we didn't have a greenhouse, so we weren't able to raise our own plants and seedlings to grow in the veg plot and the fruit garden and the herb garden and everywhere else really.
My name is Laurence McCormick. I'm one of the founders of the group called the Astley Wall Gardeners. We look after this magnificent garden called the Wall Garden in Astley Park near Chorley. I have been working in that garden as a volunteer for the last 8 years. When I started, there was only the two of us. The group grew alongside the years, and now we are about 20 registered volunteers looking after this magnificent wall garden.
My name's Duncan Goulder. I'm the Reserve Officer at Brockholes Nature Reserve. We have a new flail mower funded by the Lancashire Environmental Fund through a funding bid written by the Friends of Brockholes. This piece of equipment will help us to manage areas of habitat that we haven't been able to get to previously with machinery. It'll operate in very wet ground, it will cut very coarse and dense vegetation. So it's going to allow us to manage habitats for for breeding birds, priority species like lapwing and redshank. It will allow our conservation grazing programme to extend by allowing the cattle to graze further out into the marsh. And so it opens up many habitat management opportunities for us. We're very excited.
My name's Ted Dempsey. I'm a volunteer countryside ranger. I obviously work up here, and I'm also a member of the Friends of Beacon Fell. The basic aim of this project is to cure the erosion that was happening up here because we get so many visitors. But it brings in many elements within that parameter. First of all, it allows us to use volunteers to come and be trained in the art of stone pitching. Stone pitching is being used to create an area that is erosion free up here, and you can imagine stone pitching is somewhat like dry stone walling, only horizontal rather than vertical. But as volunteers, and you can see the volunteers working in the background there, we're being taught by the professionals how to do stone pitching, which in itself is a skill, and quite an important skill.
My name's Nick. I'm the Countryside Ranger for Lancashire County Council, based at Beacon Fell Country Park. You can see I'm doing some stone pitching here. This is part of a fantastic project to improve the summit of Beacon Fell Country Park. We get probably about 250,000 visitors a year up to the fell. And everyone loves to come up to the summit and see the views. Unfortunately, it has been suffering from some erosion problems, but this project's really going to tackle that. It also gives an opportunity for our regular volunteers to learn new skills, dry stone pitching, and get involved and make a real difference to the fell. Thank you.